By now, I've been a strong supporter and an advocate for a master league of boxing. I've been saying it for the longest while. Shout out to my man Latvinder Singh, who pointed it out. It was in 2000, I think he said 2017, either 2017 or 2018. I spoke of this idea of a Masters League of boxing. We have it in football, we have it in cricket, we have it in rugby, we have it in tennis, we have it in basketball. We don't have it in boxing. A Master League, over 40s or over 50s club, we don't have it. But now in boxing, Mike Tyson has taken it on board himself to do that at 54 years of age. 54. 6 years from 60. Not even George Foreman and his comeback. I think he came back at 37 or 38 years old. Good evening, Denise. Not even George Foreman. It's 38 years old he came back. Mike Tyson, 54, making his comeback. Good evening, Latvinder. How are we doing? The man himself. So, let's talk a second. So, it's been announced Tyson versus Jones. I was excited about it. I still am excited about it. Of course, these things don't come cheap, or these things don't happen without some form of payment. I wasn't surprised it was going to be pay-per-view. $49.99. So people started complaining. Well, you knew people were going to start complaining anyway. Like, this is the way boxing fans are. Boxing fans will say to you, oh, yeah, it'd be great to see Mike Tyson fight again. Oh, yeah, it'd be great to see Roy Jones again. And then they'll say, but they're too old. They're too old. They're too old. So then something somehow happens and we have an event now and they're like, they're too old. But the same people saying that Mike Tyson and Roy Jones are too old are the same people who are saying Canelo, the pound for pound number one guy in terms of for sales in boxing, outside of the heavyweights, the superstar of boxing, should move his date for 2 geriatrics. So make your minds up, boxing fans. Make your minds up. So we have it as Mike Tyson coming back to fight Roy Jones Jr. Well, you see, that was all well and good. Okay, no head guards, fine. Exhibition bout, fine. Bigger gloves, fine. All that was good. 8 rounds, fine. On another network, on a new app, Triller, fine. Are going to be available on other networks as well. Great, brilliant. And then we got hit with it. If there's a cut in the fight, the referee can stop the fight. Okay. Right. Now it comes out. The guys can't try and knock one another out. Well, okay. This is where there's a problem. And there's a big problem. A massive problem. And here's where the massive problem is. It's twofold, or even threefold. Mike Tyson's history of, I don't want to use the word jacking in fights, but he himself voluntarily coming out of fights. The Danny Williams fight and the other one, the Kevin McBride fight, where he just couldn't be bothered. And he always said himself, I laid down, I couldn't get up against Kevin McBride. There's that problem there. But the bigger problem is this. Mike Tyson, everybody loves Mike Tyson for one thing. Mike's a beast. Mike's a savage. Mike goes for knockouts. So that's Mike Tyson's selling point. He goes for knockouts. And in the other corner is a guy who's got a reputation of getting knocked out quite violently, which is Roy Jones Jr. Ironically, his song is Can't Be Touched, but he has been touched, and he's been touched quite badly by guys in lighter weight divisions. You must have forgot what Danny Green did to Roy Jones Jr. You must have forgot what Tara did to Roy Jones Jr. You all must have forgot what Enzo Maccadelli did to Roy Jones Jr. You all must have forgot. Yeah, you know what Dennis Lebedev did, Glenn Johnson. You all must have forgot. You all must have forgot. You really must have forgot. You got one guy on one end. You must have really forgot about Mike Tyson and his uh attitude to not listen to what the referee or the judges say or whatever, and biting Evander Holyfield's ear, or trying to knock Lou Savarese out when he'd already knocked him out, and trying to throw a left hook around the referee. Remember that one? And trying to still knock Savarese off when the referee was trying to get in between them when he was remember that fight, Lou Savarese and Mike Tyson? Or when Mike Tyson fighting Frank Sbofo and trying to break Frank Sbofo's arm. So Mike Tyson's had a history of breaking the rules. This is an exhibition bout. Now, I said before, exhibition. Good evening, Jermaine. Good to see you in the room. I said exhibition, right? And I thought exhibition meant the rules being, to just said exhibition to get it passed, to get it through, to make it happen. There's so much money that will be involved with this fight. This fight will generate a lot of money. You've got two legends of the sport. And you want to tell me now that Mike Tyson can't go for the KO? Mike Tyson cannot go. So you are telling Mike Tyson, who's been throwing and hitting them pads with vicious intent. None of them punches I've seen Mike Tyson hit the pads with have been punches for an exhibition. Those punches, he's not been punching at the pads, he's been punching through the pads. So you've been spending 10 weeks in camp punching through pads to now go in a ring to now not fall through. It can't be done. I'm sorry. It cannot be done. It cannot be done. It's not possible. I'm telling you firsthand, it cannot be done. I've got in a ring and I've hurt a guy in the ropes. I've had him hurt, and the referee pulled me in my ear. This was in Crawley, no word of a lie. It was in Crawley, and the referee said to me, "If you punch him and knock him down again, I'm going to disqualify you." And I was trained for 10 weeks or 8 to 10 weeks training with my trainer to get in, get myself body, get myself hyped up, got myself adrenaline pumping, and I've got to destroy this guy. My mindset set to get this guy out of there. And then I got some referee telling me, "Oh, don't hit him so hard. You knock him down again, and you're going to get disqualified." It's just not possible. Mike's only known about trying to knock a guy's head off, and you got Roy talking this stuff as well in the other side. I've always been ready. I'm ready. Roy. Roy. I'll fight anybody. And so, at what point is Mike going to come in the ring with tranquilizers on him? Just the nature of the guy is nonsense. Absolute nonsense. The nature of Mike Tyson is to go out and knock people out. That is like telling Floyd Mayweather, "You know what? You can come back and box again, but guess what? You're not allowed to use your shoulder roll." Or like saying, let me use another boxer. It's like saying to Manny Pacquiao, "You know what? You can come and box, yeah, but you can't throw them fast combinations, and you must stand in the center of the ring." What nonsense is this? What nonsense is this? I mean, what? Who? I mean, these guys. I mean, I would like to talk to one of these commissioners. Look me in the eye. Look me, Mona, in the eye, and tell me that you are sure that when Mike steps through them ropes, he's not going to want to tear Roy Jones' head off. All right. You feel so because you're on the outside of the ring, at the outside saying, "Well, no, categorically no way." It's like telling Larry Holmes, "You know what? You can come back and box, but guess what? You can't use your left jab." It's ridiculous. Watch Mike Tyson's 97 exhibition with Tillis. See the difference from their actual real fight. Remember the farcical exhibition with Sanders. Let's talk about that one for a second. Remember that exhibition bout? Remember when Mike hit him with a right hand and had to hold him up? That's a heavyweight. Imagine for 1 second Just for 1 second, Mike clipping Roy with one right hand. Look what Enzo did to Roy. Look what Tava did to Roy. Look what Lebedev did to Roy. Look what Danny Green did to Roy. All them guys touched him. Do you know what I mean? All them guys touched Roy in the chin. You're all trying to tell me that Mike's gonna have an ex. Listen, Mike's making a comeback. Yeah, he's making a comeback. Mike, check this out. Before all this, just put the exhibition to one side. If you've been listening to Mike Tyson talk, Mike's been talking about wanting to come back. Mike's been talking about feeling a part of him that's lost. Mike's an emotional, complex character. You know, why would you? The thing that makes you your aggression, your come forward, savage ways. How can you now turn away from that and just come out and just shoot a jab? And you can't do that. It's better you stay. It's better you stay up. Stay in the movies. If you want to do exhibitions, stay in the movies. Go and do them exhibitions with IP Man. Do you understand? Or The Hangover 3. Do that. Do The Hangover 3 or IP Man. Do you know, fall in flashy combinations and stuff in front of an actor? Do that. It's better you do that. Yes. What's that? It's better you do that than hurt Paul Roy. As Berman would say, he's gonna get hurt. He's gonna get hurt. And Roy will get hurt. I mean, Roy's got some speed, he's got some hands and stuff. But Roy, if Mike, step inside the jab and then Mike has to step inside the jab once. Can you see Roy Jones keeping Mike off him for 8 rounds? He has one mode, and that's kill mode. He don't know nothing else. Exactly. Kill or be killed. You ever heard Mike talk? Kill or be killed. I'm a fighter. It's a fight. Any man, listen, any man that speaks like that, it's a fight. It's a fight. Any man talking like that, and even in the commercial, to preview the fight, do you really trust a man that looks like that? Really? Do you really trust a man like that? And Roy Jones, for 1 second, I mean, Roy must know in the back of his mind, yeah, exhibition. But what if Mike turns? What if Mike turns less than iron? What if Mike has a flashback for a second? What if Mike in that ring has a flashback and thinks he's walking to the ring? Like imagine Roy's in the ring, yeah, and he's waiting for Mike, and Mike does, the old Mike where you used to have the towel over him, and Mike's walking out, yeah, and he pulls the towel back from him, yeah, and he does the neck roll, yeah, and suddenly he gets a flashback to when he was 1989 maybe, or when it was, or 1981 when he was fighting her. He's walking to the ring, and he was against Michael Spinks, and he suddenly gets a flashback. Oh, poor Roy. Mike's walking to the ring, and just for a minute, just for that 1 minute, that first round, Mike comes out. He forgets completely about it's an exhibition and you're doing it for pay-per-view and your family and kids and the commissioner and all this stuff. And Mike says, it's a fight. It's a fight. He ain't no Alexander. I'm Alexander the Great. He's no conqueror. I'm a conqueror. I want your heart. I want your kids. With a guy like that, I'm afraid to say it's suspect. It's extremely suspect. I know the gentleman came in earlier and mentioned Mike Tyson, and then yeah, he did an exhibition before. Mike's been out the ring a long time, very excited. Michael feels young again just for that minute. I don't know. I don't know. I I boxing fans. I mean, I don't know. Maybe just me. Maybe I'm just fantasizing, and maybe Mike. He's older Mike now, and he's mellowed out now, and Mike understands the rules of boxing, and he's made a lot of mistakes, and he realizes now, you know what? I made a lot of mistakes when I was younger. I was a bit of a punk when I'm younger, and now I'm older. I'm mellow Mike now. I'm not mighty Mike. I'm not Iron Mike. I'm mellow Mike. Okay? I'm mellow Mike Tyson. So I'm going to come in there. I'll move my head a bit, but I won't throw too much punches to Roy. And then what about Roy? Well, what about if Roy wants to do something for his legacy and he wants to make a point for himself? Roy had a fight with a guy making his debut in 2016. That shows how soft they were matching him towards the end of his career. He's not ready for that Tyson fight. Mike's a weed head now. Yeah, okay. You say he's a weed head now. All right. I'll tell you what. You stay in front of Mike and call him weed head. Weed head. I know you ain't taking two of them shots from Mike about you saw that Mike's a weed head. When Mayorga, listen, Mayorga, Mr. Mayorga, right, who was smoking 40 cigarettes a day and was a world champion. I didn't hear anybody talking about that. I didn't hear anybody talking about what's the other guy champion? Who used to be smoking all the time? There's another guy used to smoke all the time. But Mayorga's a big one. He used to smoke, and he was a world champion. He was still smoking. Mayorga, even when he was fighting the likes of De La Hoya and Mosley and Trinidad and Vargas, he was smoking every day. So I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about his weed. Do you mean? I really don't know what you're talking about. Mellow Mike. I'm only saving it. I'm only saying it makes him more mellow now. LOL. Always think I'm hating. Yeah, I do think you're hating. But I guarantee you, if Eddie Hearn put this show on, yeah, you'd be saying this is great. Mike is rehabilitated now. Mike is off the weed, and Mike is this and that. I think, I think this. I think that he'll come in good shape, Mike. I think he will come in good shape. He'd be foolish not to come in good shape, and it's an opportunity for him. An opportunity he probably wouldn't have thought of having before, or maybe this is closure for him. This is closure for him, like closure for Mike, like Nigel Benn. I don't know. The ill-fated Nigel Benn return. I don't know. What I do know is that I think Mike Tyson is extremely suspect. I don't know what window he's going to come out of. Mike Tyson, the guy that's sitting down talking with you, is one thing. But Mike Tyson going in the ring and fighting against another legend is another thing altogether. You know, that's another thing altogether. That's a different animal. And Roy's not been talking any. Roy's been talking his fair amount of smack as well. So Roy's been talking his fair amount of smack as well. So so they're both selling the fight well. We'll see. In the 10-part documentary, we'll see how Mike's doing and how Roy's doing. Of course, they'll cut out all the stuff that really is doing no fighter any favors. But like to know who Mike is sparring. If there's any sparring stories of how Mike's getting on, I'd love to know that. Love to know who they're bringing in for sparring for Mike against Roy. I'd like to know who's Roy's shown some of the one of the sparring partners he used already. I don't know who the guy's name is, but he's brought him in to spar for Roy. So it'd be interesting to see who's sparring and how the sparring's going, and and if it's heavy sparring they're doing, because yeah, it's an exhibition bout. But if they're sparring harder than they're actually going in an exhibition bout, I'd like to know how that's been run as well. Because Mike's gonna have to do sparring, Roy's gonna have to do some sort of sparring to get himself in shape and sharp, or sharp as they possibly can be. So what's the commissioner saying about that? They're both gonna have to do scans beforehand, because that's just normal. Hamza says, aren't you always hating though? All proceeds go to charity. I gotta respect that. Yeah, which charity? I want to know what the charity is. Is it the Roy Jones and Mike Tyson fund? Is it? Does anyone know where the money's going to? Or is it a charity that Mike Tyson and Roy Jones have set up? Is it a charity that a percentage of it goes to Mike and Roy? I don't know. Just to come back and fight for a charity like that. No, I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know. It's not my business. I'm just glad to see two of the legends come back in boxing. That's for me. I'm excited about that. So those are my thoughts on Roy and Mike. 49.99 to see two guys who can't knock one another out, and if one of them gets cut, then the fight is over. Yeah, you take your chances with that one. So next piece of news to talk about is our friend Alexander Usyk, the heavyweight, which I was talking to you about before. If you remember a while back, I was talking about Alexander Usyk, and I was saying that Usyk wasn't comfortable with the weight he was coming in. His camp weren't happy, and they were saying he was quite light for a heavyweight. And after the Chaz Witherspoon fight, and they were saying that Alexander Usyk needs to beef up a bit more. Now Usyk's saying that he's come up and saying, "No, well, you know what? I don't have to beef up because a lot of these heavyweights are too bulky anyway. I doubt there'll be any hard sparring." Okay, but they're both proud men. Should have done this at WrestleMania if they're allowed to throw punches. Good point there, Boxing Gospel. I heard Mike speak about the charity in an interview. Don't know the details. Exactly. So Usyk is talking about being, he's defending the fact that he's saying that, well, the bigger heavyweights are not so coordinated, and that's to his advantage that he's a smaller heavyweight. Well, he might find out, like Evander Holyfield found out the hard way, that coming in 14 stone or just under 15 stone to fight a big heavyweight that can fight inside, or as Tyson Fury said, inside fightingness. So yeah, Evander Holyfield found it real quickly that he was too light and he needed to bulk up for the rematch against Riddick Bowe. Alexander Usyk is saying that he'll be just the right size on the night to fight the bigger heavyweights. Well, we'll have to wait and see. I wasn't convinced by when he fought Chaz Witherspoon. However, that being said, somewhere Usyk started his own promotion and Sirenko fighting on his next show. Yes, I'm about to come to that point. So, as I was talking to Uncle Bashir a while back about, and I've been saying it for a while with the Usyk situation, I said, Uncle Bashir, just make sure what happened to Usyk doesn't happen to you again with Sirenko. Well, so here I understand now. Usyk's not only become a promoter, one, two, that he's co-promoting Mr. Vlad Sirenko. He's co-promoting Vlad Sirenko. Ay, ay, ay. Well, I'm not. Listen, I ain't no Nostradamus. I'm no Nostradamus. No, that's not the corona. I'm no Nostradamus, but I know Vlad Sirenko, they didn't give a damn about him in the beginning of his career, right? I know that none of that team that Usyk's got around him now wanted to sign Vlad Sirenko. I said to Uncle Bashir, once they start seeing promise in Sirenko and he starts to look good, then. So, of course, what do they do? Usyk comes in as co-promoter. We know Usyk's history of Bashir, didn't it? We all know the man that called Uncle Bashir uncle, and he said he was almost like a father to him. I called him uncle. He called him dad. The guy was almost like the daddy, the person he called a dad to him. The way he ended his professional relationship with Uncle Bashir via a text message. The man that helped you get all the way to becoming heavyweight, cruiserweight champion of the world. You send him a text message to say goodbye. You text him to say goodbye. That's your love for your dad. You do that, yeah? So you depart, you go with that manager. They go and set up a promotion of a gym, and that gym is all for Ukrainian fighters. So the dream is for all these Ukrainian fighters in America to work together to all train in that gym under Lomachenko's father, and 50% is owned by Lomachenko's father. No, 50% is owned by, I can't remember. Igor Klimas owns 50%, I believe, and the other 50% is with the guy who owns Rival, and I got his name now, the cut man for Deontay Wilder. I can remember his name. He's the Canadian guy. I can remember his name anyway. So they own it, and that's been a few years ago. Yeah, and their plan was to have a gym full of Ukrainian fighters because they want to world dominate. So for all the weight divisions, they want to have just pure Ukrainian fighters with Ukrainian trainers and all. That's how they want to. That's how they want to go. So cut all these American trainers out and just go pure Ukrainian. That's what to keep it in the family. So there's no surprise that Vlad Sirenko has now been co-promoted by Usyk, which you know how that works, yeah? Because obviously Bashir's not got that power and promotion. What they do is how it go. This is how it go. Go, hey, you know what, Vlad? You just keep training with Bashir for now. Just keep training. Let the old man do the hard work with you. Get all you can out of him, and then just leave him afterwards, like I left him. And then you can come with us. You do the hard work. Let Bashir get you up the ratings. Let you keep fighting. And then you got Bashir's your trainer. So he's a good trainer. You got a good relationship with Bashir. I'll co-promote you. And guess what? Look, you see me? I'm with Matchroom. See, I'm a Matchroom fighter. You know, I can get on. I can get you on the show, the Zone. I can get you on the Zone. I can get you on TV. I can get you the big fights. I can do this for you, right? So just come with me, and then you can fight. When I'm fighting, like when I fight Derek Chisora, you can be on the show as well. And you don't have to fight a big guy. Just fight a guy. You know, we just build you up nicely. We look after you because you know we all family. Ukrainian, we all family. We look together, and that's how it works. That's how that promotional thing works. Don't ask me. I'm telling you, right? So the main fighter, right? The main fighter on the night, if he's on a pay-per-view show, they need to fill the card. So what they fill the card with? Some of their boys. So Usyk will fill the card with some of his boys because he might not be able to fill the card himself. He fills it with some of his boys. Of course, Klima's got an Usyk's ear. Of course, Klima's got an Usyk's ear. We know what the agenda is with Klimas anyway. So same thing. Dillian didn't even contact his personally. Klima seems dodgy character. Uncle Bashir was unfortunate getting used by those Ukrainians to think, yep, and it's going to continue doing it. Because I warned Bashir about it. Make sure you got a contract with that boy. Make sure you got a contract with that boy. And I was warning him through when he was Usyk. Make sure you got a contract with that boy. Yeah, but he's good, you know. He's a good guy. I said, I don't care. Make sure you got a contract with him. You'll see how good he is when you show him a contract. Do you know what I mean? Get a contract. There's no way I would work with these. There's no way I would work with any of these people unless there's a contract in place. Absolutely, absolutely none of them. None of them. None of them. I won't work with one of them. I don't care how good they are. I don't care if they're Olympic champion or not. Integrity is everything. And these people, they don't have no integrity. Not to anybody else. To their own, yes, but to anybody outside their own, they've got no integrity. None whatsoever. And you've seen it there. So, you know what I mean? And I'm just looking at Uncle Bashir. You know, he's one of the great trainers we've got, and we need to protect our great trainers. You understand? We need to look after our great trainers. You know, and if it was my destiny to be a full-time boxing trainer, I'd be getting under Bashir and I'd be taking all the knowledge I could from Bashir and giving it back to him. You know what I mean? In terms of giving that money back to him, get him to train me up. We set up an academy together. That's what I would do, but that's not my purpose. That's foul. But if the same thing's happening to you, it's your own fault. Damn right, damn right. Klimas has business, has background in business. Seems like a ruthless guy in business. Yeah, yes, he is, he is, he is. And I would go on to say much further than that, but you understand, people can read between the lines. You understand that when Kovalev was talking that nonsense about American trainers are not very good. They're not very good and this and that, and he got his ass kicked by Andre Ward afterwards. He was disrespecting John David Jackson. That had nothing to do with the fact that the American trainers weren't very good. It was the type of trainer that they were working with. So there were a lot of them, a lot of them guys over there might smile in your face and you were nice to you, but deep down, you know what's really going on. You're just a bridge to get from A to B, and then when they're done with you, that's it. That I kind of got. That's why I've got a lot of respect actually for the Klitschko's. I got a lot of respect for the Klitschko's because I remember Bashir telling me a story, and he might tell me off for telling you this story. But the Klitschko's, Bashir had something wrong with his eye, and the Klitschko's looked after Bashir's eye. Vladimir and Vitaly, they looked after Uncle Bashir. I don't care what. The Klitschko's are a different class. The Klitschko's are a different class. Different class. Yeah, they had their own sly ways and how they did business and stuff, but it's business. If you ain't clued up in business, that's your business. Do you understand? It's not their business to make sure your business is sorted. It's to make sure their business is sorted. Do you understand? So that's different. But the Klitschko's class act, different breed. Ingram, off topic. Do you see that rematch the Zone put on in a female title bout? That was almost criminal. Yeah, let's talk about that for a second. I saw it. The girl had what, only 5 bouts or something like that, and none of the people had winning records. Listen, that girl was what you get. There's nowhere to lie. That girl looked like something that girl wasn't even ready to fight in an amateur bout. That girl wasn't even ready to box in an amateur bout. I don't even know who she was fighting. I might do a video on it separate. I don't know who she was fighting to get the record she got. I don't even know how the board sanctioned that for a world title fight. You can't blame the girl, the champion. You can't blame the champion because if she was to get beat by someone like that would have destroyed her career. So she's fighting for a career, and she's, so you can't knock the girl for the knockout. But Golden Boy, the Zone, they have got absolutely no shame on themselves whatsoever. No shame. And then you've got our friend talking, the promoter talking about women's boxing's the future. They're going to do great things, women's boxing. Well, okay. When incidents like this happen, it's not good. It's not good. It's not good. It's disgusting. And whoever the matchmaker was who did that should get banned from boxing. Banned from boxing. Banned. Whoever did that should have got banned. The actual organization should have got shut down as well. Because that's disgusting. That's murder. That's murder, that is right there. Because you know what's going to happen when you don't have to be. You know what's going to happen when you put that girl in the ring with that girl. You know she's going to get. That girl looked like, you know what she looked like? She looked like an honest mum coming in, like me doing a kick fit class with a woman, yeah? A couple of women that come in from a, you know, I don't know, she comes from a good middle class background, and she I don't know, she's a teacher in a school, and she comes 3 times a week and hits the pads, and she's really happy, but her technique's garbage, absolutely terrible technique, and she's just hitting the pads all wrong, and she's just getting her fitness up, and she's just started, that time we just trying to make, and I'm just getting her confidence, say, look, you need to keep your arms straight when you're throwing the jab, and you need to tuck your chin in when you're throwing the jab, and you're just trying to get the technique, get the work. But at that point in time, you're just working on. At that point, it's just encouraging them and having fun with them, and let them just enjoy the experience rather than getting all technical. Right, get the jab up, and you're just enjoying. She's just enjoying that. Bouncing around, throwing all the wrong punches, and getting the combinations wrong, and you're just having fun. That's the embryo stage of a boxer, or a wannabe boxer. Embryo stage. Right? Embryonic stage. That's what she looked like. A fitness. It's like I walked into a fitness first, and a girl said, "Oh, you know what? I'd like to box." All right, I give her 2 sessions on the pad. Said, "All right, you know what? You're fighting the world champion next week." What? Yeah, you're fighting the world champion next week. You up for that? World champion? Yeah. Well, all right. You're going to be on TV, and we'll pay you this amount of money. All right? It's all right. You'll be okay. You've got a nice little right hand in you, and I like your jab. You'll be all right. You'll be fine. Yeah. And deep down, she's garbage. She can't do anything. That girl she had no business. She wasn't even decent enough to be an amateur boxer. She wasn't. I wouldn't have even let her go out and do any amateur boxing. From the way she was standing, the way she came in the ring, her body language was all wrong. It was like she was gone out and done some grocery shopping. And I said, guess what? You know what? Can you come and have a fight tonight, please? What? Yeah. Listen, I'll pay you good money, right? Come and have a fight tonight. I've only been boxing a couple of weeks at the gym. Bit of fun. Yeah, come on, have a fight. Don't worry about it. I mean, you get paid good money, and it's all right. You'll be all right. You land yourself. You got nice punches. Got a good shape on you. You come and have a fight. That's exactly what that girl looked like. No better than that. And you stick her in with a girl, an accomplished fight. That's disgusting. Absolute disgusting. Absolute disgusting. It's just disgraceful. Generally speaking, these Russians don't like black people. I'm surprised people don't know this already. Well, you know as it is. Exactly. They're always made sure that they had the best side of the deal, but treated everyone with respect, even if it wasn't given to them. Yep, true. Then knocked them out. She had 5 fights against girls who had their first match. She had a padded record. That shit was criminal. It was beyond criminal. Beyond criminal. Criminals call it criminal. That girl was 42 and had taken up boxing 3 years ago. She had no business being in a ring. She had no business being a ring, being an amateur boxer, let alone being a pro. Who wins out of Fabio Wardley and Simon Valley this weekend for English heavyweight title? Actually, I've got Simon Valley's, I told you his granddad, dad on my Facebook page. He just added me. So I'm kind of wondering to myself, should I have a chat with him? Should I get him on the channel? I mean, it's Thursday, Friday. Maybe I'll have a chat with him. I don't know. You tell me. You think this is the problem with women's boxing not having depth? There aren't level of journeymen for prospects to have early fights, so they're built off of girls of street. Yeah, but don't like that, mate. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Come on. You. I can't even believe like that. To me, what you've just said there is, well, that's the reason why she got knocked out. No, I don't care. Just don't make the fight. Cancel the bout. Don't give me the excuse of, so that girl could have been in a coma now, yeah? And your excuse would have been, oh, the problem with women's boxing is, we put her in the ring because we didn't have any other journeyman women boxers, so we stuck her in the ring, and this is what happened. Bro, come on, man. I can't even believe you putting it out there. Nah, man. No. The fight shouldn't happen. That's it. Fight shouldn't have happened. Fight shouldn't happen. That's it. That's disgusting. Absolutely appalling. And in terms of Paulie Malignaggi getting sacked, good. 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 You know when your mouth is too loud and you talk too damn much, yeah? And you feel you can talk about everything and anything, you're entitled to speak about this and that, and well, eventually, you see, and around this time now, well, you want to be talking about this and that, and well, eventually, they caught up with Malignaggi, and now he's been sacked. So good for Malignaggi. That's all I got to say about it. Good. Good. A lot more of them need to go as well. So Paulie Malignaggi start. Let that be a sign. Don't any more of them talking it, want to talk any nonsense. Fed up of it. Fed up of it. Good. You know, I like Malignaggi in terms of his analysis of boxing for the most part, but mate, just talk about boxing and try not be learn the lesson, Malignaggi, from the stuff Malignaggi was getting called out a long time ago. He was getting called out by channels a long time ago about his behaviour. Finally, he's been sacked by Showtime. So, it is what it is. Good. That's all I got to say about that one. Good. Bullshit again. They deliberately put a novice in there to guarantee the victory for their fighters. The zone puts up mismatches all the time. Well, that's it. Well, as Bob Arum calls them, dead zone. I've got a better name for them, done zone. I don't call them dead zone. I call them done zone. Done zone. That's it. It ain't dead zone because that's what Arum called them. Dead zone. I call them done zone. That's it. All done. Done. That's it. So she came in standing square. That's what I'm saying to you. That girl wasn't even good enough to be an amateur. She wasn't even a decent amateur. Jeez. There's a girl now. There's a girl now. Her name's Tasha Walsh, and she's down. She's actually I've got her on my channel actually. She's down. She used to play for Leeds Football Club. Now she's boxing. Tasha Walsh. She's 15 years old, and that 15-year-old girl will beat the brakes off of that 42-year-old. She'll do a similar thing, and she's only 15 years old. And she, 15 years, has got no business being in the boxing ring. But this 15-year-old will beat the brakes off that 42-year-old. Do you understand me? And that 15-year-old has got no business being in a professional ring. Do you understand? No business. No business whatsoever. Absolute disgrace. Absolute disgrace. Manalaji's white privilege is protecting for a while. Not anymore, son. You're done. What do you think of Luke Campbell versus Ryan? Look, I've been ripping Ryan for the longest. So, King Ryan is going to be coming. He's going to be fighting Luke Campbell. Luke Campbell's got a glass body. You know, you don't get into body, he goes over, and his chin's okay. I think Luke Campbell has got. He's the established fighter. He's the mature fighter. But there's a sense that if Garcia can jump on Campbell early and hit him and hurt him early, he can get him out of there. Because Garcia's got that sort of thing about him, but he sticks his chin in there like a giraffe. So I mean, anyway, he sticks his chin in here with a giraffe coming forward, then you know, it's only a matter of time before that chin gets checked. So I mean, if Campbell can take Garcia's best punches, I mean, let's be honest, he's been fighting C-class opposition. If he can take Garcia's punches and he can sting him and back him up and put him back against the ropes and knock all that youthful wind out of him, then we'll see. But according to Bernard Hopkins, Bernard Hopkins says, well, Garcia's been around for years, and he's going to move in weights and he's going to be a real problem. What's Bernard Hopkins meant to say? He's working for Golden Boy, isn't he? Let's go. Let's just don't worry, it's puppet, innit? So I mean, of course, Bernard's got to say something. What happened to Sugar Shane, by the way? I thought Sugar Shane was working with Golden Boy as well. Sugar Shane seems to have disappeared. Yeah. Plus, looks like she reacted to getting punched. Disgraceful. Yeah, that's what I'm saying to you. Kenny, she got put on the Atkins diet after that matchup. Kenny, you just wrong, boy. You just wrong. LOL. It was bad, brother. Yeah, it was terrible. Absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. So, yeah, Bernard Hopkins saying what he's saying about Ryan Garcia, he's got to say it. He has to say it. And because Bernard Hopkins is a face, and Bernard Hopkins is an established champion in the past, and he's pound for pound, and blah, 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 when Bernard says it, it must mean it. But now we've got to understand the game that these guys that are talking now, for the most part, they're paid to blow the trumpet of the promotional company that they're with. I want to know if Bernard Hopkins was on the opposite side and working for Top Rank, whether he'd say the same things about Ryan Garcia. That's the test. Sugar Shane sounds punch drunk, messed up. Yeah, well. Not only that, I understand his missus or his ex-missus took all his money, took his 3 belts, and left him with nothing. Sugar Shane. When Mayweather was dissing him and saying that stuff about him and his green jacket, Mayweather knew what it was about. He knew what was going on. Say what you want about Mayweather, but that brother is clued up about a lot of things. I don't think that's gonna happen to Mayweather. So, any other thoughts about any other things in boxing that comes to mind? Yeah, Sam Eggington versus Cheeseman. Cheeseman should beat Eggington, man. Eggington's got no business beating Ted Cheeseman. Ted Cheeseman was just badly managed. Ted Cheeseman could have been a much better fighter had he not been rushed. Ted Cheeseman would have been a better fighter. So, Golden Boy pushing Virgil Ortiz more. He's better than Ryan. Well, yeah, of course. The question I'm asking for Golden Boys: are they pushing Ryan out there to get beat, or are they pushing out there to give him the opportunity to see what it's about? I don't know which one it is. I've got no idea, none whatsoever. But Canelo still hasn't got a date yet. But September the 12th, we are now going into August in a few days, and the date was September 12th for Canelo. Canelo is still training. If you notice, Canelo is still training. Whoever his opponent is, whether it be John Ryder, Callum Smith, or John from round the block, what are they going to do with Canelo? Is he going to fight on September the 12th or not? Because, I mean, you got this Mike Tyson fight happening with Roy Jones. Wait, is that not the same night there's a UFC fight going on as well? I could be wrong about that. I could be wrong. Sergio Ortiz fought Brian Garcia in the amateurs and showed Garcia can't deal with pressure, even though Garcia got dirty to see another ring. Another thing I want to talk about is Terence Crawford. Now, this is something I've said about Terence Crawford for the longest while, and I will keep on saying about Terence Crawford. I don't trust Crawford's chin. I don't trust Crawford's chin, and you can quote me on this one. I do not trust Terence Crawford's chin, and here's what I got to say about Terence Crawford's chin. Right? There's two things I don't trust about Terence Crawford: his chin and his temperament when he gets mad. And it goes back to the amateurs where Ray Robinson was the last guy to beat Terence Crawford. And Terence Crawford, the reason why Ray Robinson was able to beat Terence Crawford was because he got him mad. He got him fighting mad. And when he got him fighting mad, that's how Ray Robinson was able to beat him. Now, he got wobbled by Gamboa, yeah? And at that point, I thought, okay. All right, you get wobbled by Gamboa. I don't think Crawford's chin is as good as a lot of people put it out to be. I really don't. I have serious concerns about his chin. I've always had concerns about his chin. And the reason why I said that was something that Mayweather said, which made me think, And you know what he said? He said, don't be so quick to take the Pacquiao fight, Terence. Pacquiao can punch. After he said that, after he made that statement, Terence Crawford was nowhere near Manny Pacquiao after that. There was this big talk for Manny Pacquiao, and Terence Crawford, Manny Pacquiao. You remember there was a big push for it? Manny Pacquiao, Terence Crawford, Manny Pacquiao, Terence Crawford, and then Floyd spoke on it. And as soon as Floyd spoke on it, you never saw Crawford and talk about Pacquiao again. I know let's talk about Pacquiao and Crawford now a little bit now, but nah. Pacquiao hits too hard, moves too good. That in and out movement, nah. I wouldn't like to see Crawford get hit by Pacquiao. And that's my personal opinion. I'm not. I want these guys to speak how I feel, and I don't trust Terence Crawford's chin till this day. There's sparring footage out there of Ryan running all over the place, no inside gate whatsoever, good hand speed, and that's it. Well, I've said it before. But Luke Campbell's got to put that pressure on and make sure the pressure's not put on him. Yeah, another person I'm a very suspect about, and I'm going to ask Derek James about him again, is Errol Spence. I'm still very suspect about Errol Spence since he's come back from that car accident. You heard my interview with Derek James. If you haven't heard it, go back and listen to it. And I'll ask him over and over again about the injury and the sparring and the injury. And he said, yeah, he's going all right. He's good. He'll be back. He'll be okay. He's got Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia is not the guy you want to be coming back against if you've had a car accident and been out the ring for so long. Danny Garcia is not that guy. He's not that guy. Garcia has got good boxing ability. He punches good with that left hook, right? He can punch, you know. He's got a very good chin. Takes a great shot. Big heart, Danny Garcia. And he's fought Thurman and he fought Porter. Former unified or undisputed light welterweight champion. Nah, I don't like that fight for Spence and a comeback. I don't. I'm sorry, I don't. No, when he couldn't get Mikey Garcia out of there. No, sir. And then that fight against Porter that was very close, and you could have given it to Porter. No, sir. I do not like that fight for Spence, and he is not my favorite going into that fight. Danny Garcia's for me the favorite going into that fight. I can't judge you based on your last fight and then the car accident. So what have you done since the car accident? Now, that's a bad car accident you're in. You had to get your teeth fixed. What's your chin like? What's your durability like? Do you understand? I'm sorry, not for me. I'm going with Danny Garcia for that one. Hamza, Ryan Garcia needs a well-managed opponent to win. He needs time and space to punch, bro. That's true. Gary Russell is challenging Crawford to a fight. Gary Russell Jr. is just looking for a fight. Gary Russell Jr. is looking to sell himself for a fight. Sorry. Listen, who cares about Gary Russell Jr.? I like Gary Russell Jr., the fastest hands in the West. Who cares about Gary Russell Jr.? Honestly, who cares about Gary Russell Jr.? That's why Gary Russell Jr. is calling everybody out. Nobody cares about Gary Russell Jr. Really? I like Gary Russell Jr., but why should you care about Gary Russell Jr. as a boxer? Tell me. The guy fights once a year. Why should you care about Gary Russell Jr.? He clearly doesn't care. Like, he needs a big fight now. Once a year, Gary Russell Jr. is fighting against who? I like Gary Russell Jr., but I'm sorry, again, it's as bad as Keith Once Upon a Time Thurman. You come and fight once a year, make a noise like a barking dog. You get beat up, you go quiet. You go lick your wounds, you come back. You get your ass beat, you go quiet, you go back, you come back. And Gary Russell's a new barking dog. Before it was Keith Thurman. Now it's Gary Russell Jr.'s the barking dog. Leo Santa Cruz. Terence Crawford. Who's he going to call out next? Scarlett Golovkin. Who is Gary Russell going to call out next? Leo Santa Cruz. He called out Terence Crawford. Who's he going to call out next? Who's he calling next? Who cares about that Gary Russell Jr.? If he doesn't call these names and attach his name, if he doesn't attach himself to these names, nobody cares. Nobody cares. Little Santa Cruz don't care. He's going to fight Tank Davis now. You think he cares? He's going to fight Tank Davis now. You got a choice between Tank Davis and Gary Russell Jr. Who would you fight? Tank Davis. Tank Davis attached to Floyd Mayweather. You understand? Or he's got that whole Mayweather thing going on with him, even though him and Mayweather can't stand one another. You know what I mean? Tank's seen as the next superstar boxing, whatever. Blah, 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 blah. I think Lil Santa Cruz will beat him, but we'll have to wait and see. LOL. No one cares about Gary. He has to resort to desperate tactics, like the stuff with Santa Cruz's dad and now this. Yeah, of course. Gary Russell just wants to get paid, and Crawford is struggling for names, so it will happen, sadly. Because Pacman stops Crawford and Danny stops Spence. He's got every chance. Danny Garcia's got every chance to stop Spence. He has every chance to stop Spence. I think Spence is a good fighter, but I don't see anything about Spence so far that's spectacular. I don't see nothing spectacular about Spence. I don't see nothing spectacular about Spence. I don't see nothing spectacular about Danny Garcia. I don't think nothing spectacular about Keith Thurman. I don't see nothing spectacular in Sean Porter. I'm sorry. I don't see nothing spectacular. I see good. They've all got good attributes, but I don't see nothing spectacular. I don't see nothing goes, wow. I don't see that. Julian Jackson, when I looked at Julian Jackson, I saw something spectacular. When that guy hit you, you were going to sleep. You could count 100 and you're still sleeping. You could leave the arena and come back and the man was still sleeping. That was wow. You know, like that, guys like that, you know, or when Ray Leonard hit you with a combination with 15, 16 punches. Wow. You know, when Thomas Hearns stretched a Duran. When what's his name? When Hearns hit a guy with a right hand, Cuevas. He hit with a right hand and Cuevas' legs went from him. Wow. Wow. Do you understand? The wow factor. I don't see the wow factor with them guys. They're good fighters. I don't see wow. And there seems to be like a push from certain channels to push certain fighters that are just good fighters and trying to turn them into wow fighters when they're not. And then you see when they fight against guys who are of the similar level of them, they're not coming off as wow fighters. They're coming off as, yeah, okay, decent, but not wow. When Thurman fought Porter and when Thurman fought Garcia, I was going, wow, this is a great fight. But I wasn't going, wow, look at Keith Thurman or wow, look at Danny Garcia. I was going, this is a good fight. This is a good fight. But I wasn't going, wow, great. I wasn't thinking that. But you look at Roy Jones Jr. in them days when he was a super middleweight and light heavyweight champion, and Roy would put in 10, 15 punches at the guy, put his hand behind the back and knocking the guy over. I'm like, wow, look at this. Peppering guys with punches, guys getting hit with, sometimes they get hit with 6 hands. That sort of stuff. That's spectacular stuff. You're putting a show on. Do you understand? Wow, Pac-Man beats Bud. Bro. Who's Bud Crawford beat as a welterweight? For all this talk about Crawford as a welterweight, who's he beating? Jeff Horn? A faded Amar Khan? And he beat a guy that Ray Robinson beat better. So what are we talking here? What are we talking? Spence does not look right after that crash. He's damaged goods in my eyes until he's proven us wrong. That's what I'm saying to you. That's what I'm saying to you. And until he proves me wrong, Garcia's the big favourite for me. Big favourite. Sorry. Sometimes you just got to call things as you feel. He's a massive favourite for me going there, Danny Garcia. I know what Garcia brings to the table. I know what his limitations as well. But I know what he does bring to the table. I don't know what Spence brings to the table. And what Spence brought to the table against Mikey Garcia, wasn't spectacular. What he brought to the table against Sean Porter wasn't spectacular. It's good. Workmanlike. Consistent. Dogged. But not spectacular. Now, when he dropped Porter, that was a spectacular moment. If he'd gone on and stopped Porter from that, I would have gone and said, yeah, okay, all right. But remember, Broner dropped Porter as well. So what we saying? But the way Broner dropped it, looked effortless. So those are my thoughts. If any of you were listening tonight are watching and you get a chance, please do take a moment. If you're on Instagram, give us a follow. On Instagram. If you're on Instagram, give us a follow. BWTM Online. Yeah? Give us a follow if you're on Instagram. If you're on Facebook, it's the same. Get across to our Facebook page. BWTM Online. We've hit over 1,000 followers now on Facebook. That's nice. So that's good. 1,000 followers, is it? Yeah, I think we hit 1,000 followers. So yeah. And our group's growing quite fast every day. We're getting people growing. So check it out. On a side note, congratulations to Grenada, the Grenadians. It seems that our work on BWTM Plus, rallying the young people, it seems to have had its effects because today it was announced that the a certain law was overthrown today by the people. So yeah, Alvarez Joe Smith. Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, I heard about that fight. I heard about it. Yeah, I heard about that fight. So yeah, congratulations, Grenada. I continue to encourage you to stand up for your rights. Stand up, rise up, protest in a manner which is civil. Stand up for your rights and don't stand for any nonsense. Don't allow your human rights to be violated by such draconian measures. You know what I'm talking about. Right, let me get out of here. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget also, this is not just, it's not just this channel. Do check out our news and entertainment channel, BWTM Online. that YouTube channel, BWTM. Of course, when you get a chance, if you want to see it all, check us out there. www.bwtmonline.com. Check us out. Get across. Look at the channel. Please do. Yeah, please do. And we also now uh, we are building a team on BWTM, which is fantastic. We've got a social media team that we're building. We're taking things to the next level. If you think you've got what it takes, that again, sorry. If you think what it takes to join our social media team, send us an email. Sorry, bwtmonline.com. Get across. Send us an email. So we're looking at for people, graphic designers, video editors, social influencers, podcasters, broadcasters, hosts, models, male and female. We're looking for. So check us out. BWTM on. I think I've typed it wrong again. BWTMonline.com. So I got it up there again. That's the one. That's the one. BWTMonline.com. Send us an email and we'd love to speak with you. Right, this is it for me. I'm out. I hope you've enjoyed this evening's boxing talk. Don't forget to rate, subscribe, leave your comments as always, and do share the video. We really appreciate it. We're out. Take care.